Hello my friends, today we're going to go over 3 essential filmmaking tools that you didn't know you needed, but that you definitely do. I've been meaning to make this video for a good amount of time now, like months, and I'm so glad that I'm finally getting to it now because I think these tools are actually really great. They're from a company called ANDYCINE. You might have heard of them. They're a really great company. They're one of these companies that they're all about helping indie filmmakers get stuff they need, but for like a reasonable budget. Like, I know a lot of people love, like, especially higher end filmmakers, they love brands like Wooden Camera, and like proprietary things from like Airy and all those other companies are just, they can be out of most indie filmmakers' budgets. I myself, I shoot corporate, I shoot education stuff, but this is what I do for a living. So when I can get a high quality product for something that's not gonna break the bank, you better believe I'm gonna do that. So here they are. Also, full transparency, because that's all we do in this channel. ANDYCINE did send me these products in exchange for a review, but I did not get paid, and I'm not, sponsored by them in any way. They asked if I wanted to review these. There's links in the description below for, if you are interested in getting these and learning more. But I'm not going to be making up any information or trying to sell you something that I don't actually think is really good. It's really funny because before they hit me up, I was buying their products and I found them because we'll talk more in a second. So this is one of the first products I got from them. You can see it says like ANDYCINE there, but I had purchased a small rig. Like, I love small rig. Small rig is great for mounting stuff. My cages are usually small rig. I know they've been expanding out to like batteries and even wireless follow focus stuff, which is pretty crazy, but exciting because the more competition there is out there, the better. But I had bought this and I was using it as a monitor mount, and it's cool because it has, these little grips and all that. But I noticed that, so I purchased a small HD monitor because I got a great deal on it, but it's metal and it's heavier. And as I was using this, like, I had to really tighten it down, and you can see the little rubber stuff that was on it like wore out. So I was looking for something where I didn't have to just crank it, because screwing it and unscrewing it was starting to become like I had to use a tool to like unscrew it because I had cranked it so hard in order for it to be stable. So I loved these. This is one of the favorite things I've purchased that has given me the most return on my investment. And I paid for this with my own money. ANDYCINE did not send me this. But the reason I love it is it has these little balls here attached to the, like, I think these are quarter 20 screws, but not sure, sorry. But they're like, you can mount stuff to the side here, you can screw stuff in, but so what I noticed about this is that it's really ergonomic and easy to use. So once you screw in, okay, there's so much to love about it, but so the screw has this little, like, you can screw it in without having to turn the actual monitor a million times like that. Like the small rig one, I don't know, this is petty, but the small rig one, like, I could screw it in, but then once I got into the other side, to actually get it tight, I would have to tighten this a lot, and then this is finally like fixed and stiff, so then I would have to screw this whole thing in. So that was just the experience I had with the small rig one, but for this I can get it tight and then not move it, and I could still spin this. I can still screw this in. So if I needed to have the flexibility, I could have it, and I can move this around and shape it or do whatever. But when I don't, I can still have it really stiff and then, finger tighten it or do all that. It also has these holes in here where I can stick like an Allen key or something, and like crank it even tighter if I needed to, which I've never had to do. But then to unscrew it, I can just, you know, do that. So I love this thing. Thank you, ANDYCINE, for creating this, because there are more expensive ones out there. The other thing is that this is super reliable, and I use it on multiple tools, monitors, mounts. Like, it's great. I can't speak enough about this, you can tell. The other thing I use it for is I have a Zoom F6, like my recorder, and I was able to, and so I don't think this is ANDYCINE. It doesn't have a label on it, but I think they sell a similar product to this. But this has the screw holes in the back. So what I do is I take my ANDYCINE screw mount thing, and there'll be a description link in the description below where you can get this as well. And I screw this into my Zoom F6, so my recorder, let me just show you. So I have the Zoom F6, right? My audio recorder where I do everything. And so I like to just keep it clamped like on my tripod. So all I do is there's the perfectly sized screw hole here. So I just take that, boom, boom, boom. Then what I'll do is I'll take this end, the little crab arm, and I'll tighten it. So I'll just tighten this, and I'll tighten this to the tripod leg. So what I'm looking at is this, and that's right on my tripod leg. Usually I'm sitting, and then the interviewer will be happening, and I can just like see what's going on with the audio. So without further ado, let's get to it. So ANDYCINE sent me this. It's a mini VMount plate. So I love that it's mini because it doesn't take up a lot of space, and it comes with the 15mm rod adapters. So this is it, just as it comes, and you can press this button and remove the little plate that is kind of taking up the space for your V-mount. And it also includes the rods and the Allen key you need for it. The other thing that's awesome is it comes with all these screws. Like, you can use these for your tripod plates, for mounting random accessories. So it's just kind of and it has 2 different sized Allen wrenches. So utility, baby, for free. Not for free, you obviously have to buy it, but the mini V-mount batteries are becoming more and more and more popular. So having a mini V-mount plate like this is gonna save you so much more space, weight, and everything. I love this because it's made out of metal, and so it's gonna be durable. The other thing that's great about it is that it's easy to put together. You see the holes there? This has the screws already in it from the package. You just kind of line them up and tighten them with your Allen wrench. Let's show some magic. Boom, all done. This here it is put together, sturdy. The other thing is the back is like a cheese plate, right? What they call a cheese plate. So you could put this onto your camera, put your V-mount battery on, and mount whatever you need here. Why don't we show what that looks like? Here I have my Pocket 4K, right? So here's the ANDYCINE mini plate. So I'm just gonna put that on right there. So I'd been using a really big, like a larger one from like a typical V-mount size, but if you can see, this doesn't really block your view because you're looking from above. So my perspective is really like this when you're looking from above. No, I'm not gonna be carrying the camera like this. It's on my chest. I can put this up against my body and then look, you know, and not have an obstructed view. So the other part is your V-mount battery. So this is a core mini battery. I love these. They light up. They tell you how much time you have left. But what's the point of having a mini V-mount battery if you're going to have a giant V-mount plate, right? So I'm just going to take this, clips right on, keeps it nice and light. And then I'll take my D-tap into here. Boom. Battery's charging. I got everything I need to start filming and doing what I need to do. When I'm done, when I'm ready to swap it out, I just press that button here. It comes right out. Super easy. And it's like seriously super sturdy. Not only that, but you can see the little mounting plate. I can add stuff to this. So if I wanted to get a D-tap extender or adapter, instead of having to like tape it or use like Velcro, which is not going to be sturdy, I can screw it in. And I've got some extra screws here to do that. So you just saw the ANDYCINE V-mount, like the mini V-mount plate, right? So the second product I think that we should showcase here is, oh, hold on, it's something in my pocket. Oh, it's the ANDYCINE Pocket V-mount plate here. And it comes with the 15mm rods as well that you just connect here. So let me do some magic and connect these. If you're ever walking around on a shoot day, you know, you could be like, hey, where did that V-mount go? Oh yeah, it's in my pocket. You just pop it out and here it is. What makes this so useful, I think, is that you're now expanding where you can use V-mount batteries. Not only that, but because it has this like mounting plate, right, where you can put screws in, like in any of these holes, like you're not gonna have to buy these huge, heavy, bulky V-mount plates and adapters anymore, which is so great. So this, I could totally see you, like if you have a cage on your monitor, like for a director's monitor or something like that, you could screw this, you know, to the back, and then I'll show you another accessory very soon. You can put this, you know, screw this onto the back on, you know, if you have a cage or something, and mount it, and now your monitor, your recorder, you know, the recording device you were using, it's now, you know, V-mount ready. Like you just created a new V-mount device, which I think is like priceless. And that leads me to the last tool that I think every filmmaker needs in their tool belt, and it's ANDYCINE's VMount Clamp. So I showed you the tool I had earlier that I used to clamp like to my tripod, right, when I wanted to have my zoom on the, you know, screw mount and then into a clamp. So ANDYCINE makes a clamp, and it's actually built a lot sturdier. So this one I think is a small rig one, the clamp I just showed you, and this one is from ANDYCINE, and just like the machining is higher quality. I love how okay, it's great. Anyways, so you can see you can essentially turn anything into a V-mount capable device. So I could take this battery, and if you have a device that like for example, if you need, for example, you know, a lot more V-mount batteries come with USB and even USB-C now. This is USB-A. You can clamp this anywhere, and now you have a battery for whatever you need. My recorder, my Zoom recorder uses USB-C, so I can get a cable that's A to C for my USB, clamp it, and not have to worry about like the power on it. All right, so let's go over the pros and cons. The pros for this lineup are instant portability. You know, like this is small already, and it's smaller than any other V-mount plate I've used, and it's going to be great for your camera, whatever device that uses V-mount. It's going to be great, it's adaptable, and it uses what I consider a pretty standard, especially in indie filmmaking, to be the 15mm rails here. Okay, pro number 2 is mounting options. This has mounting options on the front, and it has mounting options on the back. This has mounting options on the front as well, and this has mounting options on the back. And this can literally mount anywhere. The final pro that I think goes across all of these is that they're very well made. Like you can tell just they're metal, you know, the fact that they're metal is great. A lot of products use plastic, and that's okay. But these are clearly machined and designed to be durable. You can definitely tell there's extra TLC in how these are designed and how these are used. This is my small rig one that I've been using for about a year or so, and you can see that the rubber is just a little bit different than this. You know, this is made to be like a support and extra grip, whereas this is trying to be something that it's not, which is, you know, has worn over time. And I'm still using this for sure because it's such a useful tool, but I know that this is going to last long and it's going to be reliable. So thanks ANDYCINE for making that. So to prove to you that I'm not just an ANDYCINE fanboy here, there are a couple of cons that I want to discuss. So here's one thing I noticed. So the release of the VMount, it's a little bit stiff, and I don't know if it has to do with this being metal, but I did notice that if I press it, like, let me put this back, there's a lot of resistance on it, you know, instead of just, you know, springing back. And I think my gut tells me that it has to do with this, the fact that this is metal and the way it sits here. I noticed the same thing on this one, and the reason it was more noticeable is because the buttons are way smaller. But because the button is smaller, if this is stiff, it's gonna kind of hurt a little bit, or you're gonna need some sort of tool to get it out. This is just being nitpicky, I think. When I put my actual VMount battery on it, this is not metal. This is by Core SWX, which is a well-known, like, used in, you know, Hollywood movies. This is an industry standard. Anton Bauer and Core, I think, are used a lot in the industry. So it's not just some cheap battery. But when I put this on, I don't experience that stiffness. Like, it's just really easy, really smooth. So, by the way, this is a mini battery. They're like Core's Mini, and like, look how small this thing is. It's great. Anyways, okay. So the stiffness is one thing. The other slightly downside-y kind of thing that I noticed was on the clamp. When I put this specific battery on, there's a bit of wiggle. And the only reason I worry about that is because if I'm on a shoot and I need this clamped onto something really important that I don't want to fall or whatever, I know V-mounts get a bad reputation for, like, falling. I've never had an issue with that, but I know kind of some old school camera guys who are on gold mount and now already created the B mount, where they're supposed to be more stable and all that. So I just noticed, I wonder why there's so much more play, and I think it has to do with the fact that there's nothing down here to support it, like there would be on this plate or the mini, or the pocket. So that's just my opinion, my thoughts, but maybe there's a way to make this a little bit tighter, because there's play in and out. At the end of the day, I guess what I was saying is that these aren't going to be the most expensive tools, and that's for a reason, is because they're focused on, like, functionality and high quality, like, build. I'm sure you could find the same tools at a higher price for different people, but if you're an indie filmmaker like I am, or you're someone who's kind of just a few years into their videography business, I highly recommend these tools for you. So definitely check them out. Leave a comment below what your thoughts are. How do you use V-mount batteries? Leave a comment for maybe any other videos you want to see on the channel, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Peace.